What's going on, growers? It's James Prigioni coming to you live from Jersey. The heat of the summer is starting to die down, but the garden is still pumping out food as natural as you can grow it. The naysayers told me that this wouldn't work, but I decided not to listen. Let me take you through the garden and harvest some food while we're at it. Let's go! When I first started gardening, a lot of people looked at me like I was crazy. They would ask things like, why would you waste your time growing your own food when you could just buy it from the store? And then when they found out how I was gardening, using a thick wood chip mulch and in a food forest, they said that would never work. And I'm sure a lot of you have gone through that scenario. And it reminds you of a quote that says, opinions are the cheapest commodity. Everyone has a flock of their own opinions. And the funny part about it is most of the time the people that tell you it won't work either have never done it or have no experience in gardening at all. The reason that I knew a food forest garden would work is not just because people like Jeff Lawton and Bill Mollison have been doing it successfully for years, but also because the design and concept is rooted in mimicking a natural forest, which as we know is one of the most productive systems there are. I love these Asian pears so much. This is the Chijuro pear, and it's called the butterscotch pear. It's so sweet. And this is when they're nice and ripe and they got this deep orange color to them. There's a few other varieties in this tree, but this is probably my favorite one. And because I like the Asian pears so much, I planted a number of other Asian pears in the new food forest. So I can be eating these even more and more. Homegrown, picked right off the tree, nothing better, nothing sweeter. This is why I grow my own food. Yes, you could probably get this in a store somewhere, but I'm telling you, you really can't get this, how sweet it is, how good it is, and that great feeling knowing that you did it without pesticides, without herbicides, and basically as natural as you can do it. And the same thing goes with using a thick wood chip mulch. Paul Gauci has been using a thick wood chip mulch in his garden for over 40 years successfully. And also we see the same pattern in nature. In the natural forest where we have an organic matter mulch dropping down and feeding and supporting those trees and everything else in the forest. Let me grab some of these tomatoes while we're over here. A couple from over here. A few from over here. And grab these two over here. The idea of growing food like this was really just mimicking and copying a natural system is the one that truly sold me on this form of gardening. And I love how Paul Gauci puts it when people ask him, will growing with the wood chip mulch actually work? What he says is, look out at the natural forest local to you. Is anyone watering that? Is anyone take care of that? And it's still thriving. And I also love Bill Mollison's response. When people ask him, does permaculture work? He hits him back with another question. He says, do trees grow? So after growing like this, like I have for the last 8 years, I'd say that it definitely works. But if you don't believe us, then let the harvest and the produce do the talking.
Written beneath my bed. I wrote or read them all when searching in the swarm, still can't find.
So we've been harvesting a lot of tomatoes lately, and that's because we're getting a lot. I focused a lot of my time on growing tomatoes this year, and next year I'm going to focus my time on growing more perennials and stuff too. So whatever you focus on seems to increase. But I'm gonna grab a few more tomatoes from this section, then I'm gonna get a bunch of cucumbers, we got eggplants, and we got beans and all different stuff.
I know you need me in the next room over, but I am stuck in here all paralyzed. For months I got myself in rush, too much time spinning mirrors framed in yellow walls. I hear their calls.
I just had to empty out my basket, but I spent the last year or so bringing you along, showing you how I grow my own food for the whole process. And this, the harvesting, is just another part of growing your own food. It just happens to be my favorite part. So that's why I love sharing it. You'll notice like 3 out of the last 4 videos were harvest videos because I want to show you what we're doing that actually works. This is one I'm really excited about. This is the purple yard-long bean. Look at the size of this bean. This thing is just massive. So cool. So I wanted to cut it, have a little taste of it, and then see if Tuck wants a little bit. Let's see. Crack this end off. Pretty good flavor. Not as good as the what do you call it? The dragon tongue beans in my opinion, but they're still pretty good. Let's see if Tuck likes them. Tuck, want to bite of some bean, boy? They seem to be Tuck approved, which is a good thing. He seems to enjoy them. He loves eating his fresh greens, just like me. And this thing is just pumping out so many beans. Tuck, want another bite, boy?
They say young is good and old is fine and truth is cool.
And you'll notice how many beans this thing has on it. Just like I mentioned in the previous video, when these beans get relatively full size, like the one I just picked or the one over there, we want to make sure we pick them because the more we pick, the more we will get. We don't want the plant to focus on just producing seed. We want it to focus on continue to produce more flowers, continue to produce more fruit, so we get more beans.
But their good times come with prices, and I can't believe it when I hear the jokes they make. At anyone's expense except their own.
Next to me here we have some zucchini plants the zucchinis on them are still just a little small, so we're gonna wait to harvest them. Have a bunch of tomatoes here, but before we grab more tomatoes and stuff, I wanted to get a couple of the peppers that are ready and some dragon tongue beans. This is one of our first variety of peppers that are ready, these little orangish yellow ones. Man, they look cool. I bet they're sweet and I bet they're good. So before we bring something like this inside, I should just taste test it to make sure they are good. Nice pepper flavor, really sweet, really good. I like these little sweet ones, they're pretty cool. We got a bunch of varieties of peppers though. We have a lot more bigger varieties like the bells and stuff, but those seem like they're taking a little longer to harvest. I mean to ripen. This thing is just loaded with peppers. Can't wait for some of those to be ready. But let's move over to some of these dragon tongues and get my favorite beans. If some of you have been following along, you'll know that this is like our 2nd or 3rd round of green beans. When the other beans were starting to slow down, we made sure to plant more. And so these are some of my favorite, the dragon tongue. They're not getting as much of the color just yet that they usually get, but I bet the flavor is still there. So we'll grab a bunch of these. Taste one. The flavor is actually so much better than the yard-long beans in my opinion, but the yard-long beans could be good when they're cooked up. Gotta make sure we get Tuck some. I think he likes these beans more too. So we'll let Tuck snack on those. And here's what's coming up in the future, some of these big peppers here. This plant is loaded. And another variety over here. Long, healthy looking peppers, but I know there are some ripe red ones that are just around the corner. I think they might be the Jimmy Nardella ones, so let's grab a few of those. Grab a couple of these peppers, and Tuck likes the peppers too, believe it or not. So we've got a few of those peppers. I got a nice tomato over here. Let's harvest that as well. As you can see, we've got the board down. That means we have more carrots planted. That's that board trick that I've showed you numerous times. Here's a nice looking tomato. Got one little mark on it here, but still pretty beautiful. Set that one in and keep going. Here in Tomato Alley, we've got a lot more tomatoes to harvest, but before I do that, I want to grab a few eggplants and a few other things. I also have some new stuff planted in this section here, getting ready for fall, all different kinds of greens and things. So if you guys are interested in what I'm planting in fall, let me know. I also have cucumbers planted along the fence and peas too. So let's grab some of those eggplants.
At anyone's expense except their own. Would they laugh if they knew who paid? Ain't it like most people? I'm no different. We love to talk on things we don't know about. Ain't it like most people? I'm no different. We love to talk on things we don't know about.
Some more nice looking tomatoes. As you can see, a nice colorful harvest here. And right here I've got the milkweed. The cool thing about it is the monarchs are starting to come over and feed off it and stuff. So I've got a little clip of one of the monarchs that's hanging out on it. And I think some of these holes are actually from the larvae eaten. Some of you may be questioning who I'm talking about when I say things like, they told me I can't garden like this, or they said it won't work. Who I'm referring to are the naysayers. I think we all have some naysayers in our lives, people who just look at things from a negative mindset. And I encourage you not to think like that. Instead of saying, I can't do it or it can't be done, we should flip the perspective and ask the question like, how can it be done? Or how can I do it? I think that'll bring us to success way quicker. And I mentioned earlier how whatever we focus on, that's what's gonna increase. So for instance, I focused on growing tomatoes this year. I got the biggest tomato harvest I ever have. So if we use that same idea and we focus on the question of how can I do it or how it can be done, that's where we spend our time, I think we're gonna be able to come to a solution. So if you guys are enjoying the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share with your friends, and check out the merch down low. Let's continue harvesting.
I hope this old train breaks down, then I could take a walk around. You see, there's no time to see, 'cause time is just a melody. The people in the street walk the fastest the feet can take them. I just roll through town. The window's got a view, but the frame I look through seems to have no concern for now. For now, I need this here old train to break down. Oh, please just let me please break down. This engine screams out loud, centipede gonna crawl westbound. So I don't even make a sound, it's gonna sting me when I leave this town. The people in the street I never get to meet, these tracks don't bend somehow. And I've got no time that I've got to get to where I don't need to be for now. And I need this here old train to break down. Oh, please just let me please break down. And I need this here old train to break down. Oh, please just let me please break down.
Wanna break on down, but I can't stop now.
That's today's video, growers. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're encouraged now to go against what some people say if they're not someone who's experienced, if they're not someone who knows what they're basically actually talking about. And I also wanted to mention that some people talk about overnight success, but in my opinion, it doesn't really exist. Overnight success is only born from years and years of practice. So if you want to start a food forest of your own and you only have a small patio or a small area, I encourage you to start growing in that section. This way, when your opportunity comes, when you have the space, when you have the land, you'll be ready to seize it and make the most of it. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share with your friends, and don't forget to throw some hearts down in the comments for Tuck. James Prigioni and Tuck will be back at you real soon. We